I've started stringing up my catenary, and it's time to have a look at the points of attachment. Here's where it'll attach at the tank end. A few welded pieces of steel and pipe, they're certainly strong enough. But this steel and pipe is actually concreted into the top of a plastic tank. That's not good enough to hold 240 kilos. I've temporarily got the end of the cable seized onto a little piece of polypropylene rope. It's the same rope that I used when I was testing, so it's strong enough to hold the catenary in place, as long as it's not full of water. This is a bit contre jour, this shot, so I hope you can see it. The steel post is just a normal star picket, and it's hammered into the ground, but it really will need to be stayed back if it's going to hold 240 kilos. We'll do that now. I'll stay the picket back to the ground using this 600mm length of steel deform bar. I'll use this wire to take the force. It's normal fencing wire, and it'll take 1,000 kilograms. I'll actually double it up, so that will technically take 2,000 kilograms, and that's more than enough. Let's see it in place. I fixed one end of the wire to the post, and the other end I've got attached to my stay via a couple of turns. It's called a round turn, looping the wire around twice, and it adds immensely to the strength of the junction. I'll see if I can't put this down and work and video at the same time. Okay, well, I've got the iPad crucified to the tree with a couple of 4-inch nails. I hope I can extricate it again. Here's the wire coming back up from a stay a couple of times around the post with this round turn. And then cut it short. Not too short. Okay. Okay, 3 or 4 times around here, and that's not going to go anywhere at all. Alright, so this stay could hold 2,000 kilograms. Well, it's loose, it's not holding anything. So what I'm going to do is make up something called a Spanish windlass. Easy. Twist it round until it gets nice and tight. Should be able to see the stay move and the post move. I can hear the post, it's starting to creak. And we'll give it one more turn. It's the turn where the wire often snaps. And tie my Spanish windlass back with this little length of tie wire. I think. Pull it in and leap it. Okay. It's too low, you can't see this. You can see my pants falling down though, so let's pull them up. See if I can get this up a little bit more vertical without having it fall off. No, that's not going to work. That's very precarious there. Take it off. Here's the Spanish windlass tied back, looped around and down here to the stay. Now I've already tripped over this once, and that's once too often, so I'll do something smart. I dropped a little plastic bottle over the end of the stay, so if I don't notice it, at least I'll trip on something a bit soft now. We'll do the same to this end of the post. There we are, good as I bought one. Well, g'day again. This thing is called a gripple. If I don't drop it. And this is a set of fence strainers. This file's a handle, at least for today. Okay, the fence strainers can loop over there for now. Hand will be going as my arm. Find the end of the wire. Okay, I need to stretch these wires so it's tight, not too tight, but 240 kilos is what we're after. So I take my gripple and I poke one end of the wire through it, and the gripple will go one way but not the other. Take the other wire and I do the same thing. So now I have the wires joined together. Still not very tight, that's why I need these things. My dad bought these when I was 15. He didn't know I inherited them, but he didn't need them anymore. Okay, use the handle, file, and crank backwards and forwards till we get our fence to the tension we want. Tiny bit more. I may need to tighten this up a bit later, but for now, that'll be fine. Okay, tidy up these ends. Little bits of wire, not the things you want to leave lying. The catenary is in place and it's slowly being tightened. The pipe is straightening a bit at a time. I don't want to overdo this. I tighten the cords alternately, slowly bringing the catenary up into position. The very last adjustment is made with a screw eye, but I only have a few millimetres of adjustment for that, so most of the movement must be done using the ropes. As you can see behind me, I've installed the catenary and its associated water pipe, and I've made the initial adjustments. It has a bit of a sideways wobble, but it's level enough. This wire brace behind the tank is stretched taut. It is providing the force to keep the catenary straight. This little mast sits on top of the tank and keeps the catenary in place at the tank end. The vertical pipe is designed to divert the first flush of dirty water from the gutters when rain first starts. The gutters themselves are protected by a layer of mesh, keeps the larger leaves out. At the gutter outflow, there's another leaf diverter to keep more of the debris from getting into the tank. The pipe is straight and runs gently downwards from the shed to the tank. I really need to know what will happen when there's a water load in the pipe. I need to model this, preferably before we have a rainstorm, in case something goes wrong. I've wired one of my 5 kilo masses directly below one of the supports. 5 kilos is nowhere near the total loading that I anticipate. My total loading is more like 28 kilos. There's a noticeable deflection in the pipeline, so I still have a problem to solve. I can increase the tension by adjusting this eye bolt, so I'll do that at first.